Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is a game released on the Nintendo Switch back in 2023, and I mean, it's alright, I guess. It was made specifically and expressly to kill the New Soup series. Wow! Guess I don't need this anymore!
I have a talking flower now!
I'm going insane. Yeah, so basically, as I said in the intro, released at the tail end of 2023, it was an alright game, it was, you know, fine, but it served a purpose. And this is really one of the only Mario games out of like 2 or 3 that exist to serve a specific purpose. And that purpose was to assassinate the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Because, oh my god, it got stale like 3 entries before. This series started on the DS with the original New Super Mario Bros., which was basically made to make a new, well, Super Mario Bros. Game, as the title kind of, you know, says. It was made because the original Marios were kind of getting a bit stale, and also there hadn't really been a new 2D Mario for a while, so Nintendo decided it would probably be a good idea to revive the franchise. This, however, would result in Nintendo unintentionally, partially intentionally, creating one of the most ungodly series known to man, the New Soup series. Because New Super Mario Bros. Would get a sequel, which would be New Super Mario Bros. Wii, which would also get a sequel. And that would get a sequel. And that would get a remake on the Switch, and oh my god, okay, it's too much. The games were all basically identical to each other, they had absolutely no differences, and so that's where Super Mario Bros. Wonder comes in. Super Mario Bros. Wonder exists just to put an end to that. It's supposed to be unique. So, let's see how unique it actually is. You know, let's start off with the story, which is actually a bit different from most Mario games. Because you see, in most Mario games, the story and plot is fairly simple. It's pretty much just Bowser kidnaps the princess, or sometimes he kidnaps, like, some random fairies, but Bowser does something like that, or does something to try and gain power and control and build an empire, you know, all this evil bad guy stuff, and he does all that and you have to stop him as Mario. However, in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, he's just an asshole. Seriously, he's just an asshole. Bowser's entire thing in Wonder is just being a dick. There is no purpose to Bowser invading the Flower Kingdom, which is the kingdom that Mario Wonder takes place in. There is no purpose. He just steals a bunch of shit from there and does absolutely nothing with it. He turns himself into a castle and plays music, and that is it. He does nothing of substance. He's just being a dick, which honestly is probably one of my favorite plots of any Mario game. Anyway, so Bowser is being a dick to these people for no reason, and so you as Mario, or Daisy, or Peach, or Luigi, or Nabbit, or Yoshi, or Toads, because there is a ton of characters in this game, have to go and stop him. And to stop him, well, it's like any 2D Mario. So, you got your normal 2D Mario experience now. You run and jump through your levels, and the level design in Wonder, you know, it's alright, but the main thing about the level design in Wonder is the Wonder Seeds, of course. These are basically hallucinogenic drugs that Mario takes that allows him to do weird and wacky things, like stretch or become black. Yeah, so Mario can take these drugs and he can do new things now with these drugs. One of those things is, as I said before, becoming black, and another one is stretching, but there's also walking on walls, jumping up and bouncing, the world just tilting from side to side, just a bunch of random goofy things. And you have to go through the level with these effects. One of the great things about Mario Bros. Wonder is the fact that it has so many collectibles. Each level has at least 2 Wonder Seeds in it. One of them is for just beating the level as you normally would a Mario level, and you'll get a Wonder Seed there. However, there's also always a second Wonder Seed, which you get by touching a Wonder Flower, which is the drugs. So you touch a Wonder Flower and that makes everything go all tipsy-turvy hallucinogenic, and if you beat the level while that's all on, you get your second Wonder Seed. Some levels have up to 3 Wonder Seeds in them, so these levels can get pretty extensive with a decent amount of secrets in them. The levels themselves aren't overly difficult. They're pretty much the difficulty you'd expect from something like New Soup U. Like, not even New Soup Wii levels of difficult, it's just, like, nothing. You can breeze through the game pretty easily for the most part, apart from a couple of the final levels, but those are made expressly to be challenges. Of course, Super Mario Bros. Wonder also has its new share of power-ups. Now, you've of course got your normal Mario power-ups like your mushroom and your star, but we all know these. However, you've also got 3 brand new power-ups never seen before. First off, the Bubble Flower. Like other flower variants of Mario power-ups, you get to fire something with this, and that thing is bubbles, if you couldn't guess by the name of the power-up. The bubbles allow you to kill enemies with them, pretty much any enemy actually, I'm pretty sure, as long as it can fit inside the bubbles, so that's actually really useful. Additionally, you can jump on them and use them as sort of platforms to gain some height, and there's even some people who manage to speedrun with these things and basically cheese entire levels, which is, you know, I'll give them that. That's pretty cool. There's also the elephant apple thing. I don't really know what to say about this one. The elephant power-up is like a worse version of the Mega Mushroom in my opinion. It makes you into an elephant, so you have a larger hitbox and all. You now have a trunk that you can swing and pick up water with. You can push heavy things. That's about it. It's not really the best power-up ever. And then there's also the Drill Mushroom, which I quite like, specifically because it's almost like a reference to Mario Galaxy 2, and I think it actually is, because Mario Galaxy 2 also had a Drill Mushroom. Either way, it works pretty much as it did in Galaxy 2. You pick it up, and it allows you to drill into the ground and move around underground, allowing you to access secret areas you wouldn't be able to normally, which allows for even more collectibles within the game. As I'd said before, Mario Bros. Wonder also has, I'm pretty sure, the largest character roster for a 2D Mario game ever, with you being able to play as anything from Daisy to Toadette to Nabbit, or any Yoshi. This is mainly because of Mario Bros. Wonder improved multiplayer capabilities. See, unlike the previous 2D Mario entries, Mario Bros. Wonder actually has some different multiplayer. One of the first things you'll notice, specifically with local multiplayer, is you can't really throw each other off ledges anymore, which is a bit of a, you know, I'll miss that. But it does mean you can actually consistently work cooperatively together, and it's a lot easier to get past levels when you're playing with multiple people. The multiplayer in general is a lot better, and it's more fun to play through with people. You're not going to be bumping into each other constantly and getting in each other's ways. You're actually going to be able to help each other get through the level. The multiplayer, however, locally isn't really the main focus of Mario Bros. Wonder's multiplayer. It's the online. Obviously, you need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to be able to do this. However, if you have one of those, you can go online with your Mario Bros. Wonder multiplayer. And it means you can play with people from all across the world. With up to 4 people per level, you can get through any level with a sort of ghost version of the people you're playing with, where, again, you can't interact with them at all. However, they can see you and you can see them, and well, I mean, you can communicate with each other, so that's pretty cool. Additionally, there's a giant world map as to which you can see tons of people on, way more than 4. And you see people running about and jumping into different levels and all. It's pretty cool. And speaking of, Mario Bros. Wonder's world map. It's pretty darn good. Mario Bros. Wonder is compared often to Super Mario World, and honestly I kind of get that. They were both made as a sort of different Mario game. By the time Super Mario World was released, Mario franchise had already been getting a little bit stale with its 2D entries up to 3. However, Mario World really expanded upon what a 2D Mario game could be, and Mario Bros. Wonder is trying to do the same thing, though with much more of a focus on getting away from the staleness of the previous Mario games. However, they do share a lot of similarities, not only in their just gameplay in general and the fact that both games are notorious for having a lot of secrets in their levels, but also the fact that, well, just the design of the games in general. The character designs all the way up to the world map all are very similar and reminiscent to each other. Like, the character designs are supposed to look more like SNES, N64 era characters for Mario. And the world map definitely is very reminiscent of the original one on Mario World on the SNES, where you go around this giant world map, moving to these different worlds and locations to get to your different levels physically on the map, which is pretty cool. Another feature of Mario Wonder are its badges. Mario Wonder has this feature known as badges, which are essentially abilities that you can add to your character to, well, get an extra ability. These abilities can range from anything from just simply a glide with your hat, as to which every single character gets a cap, meaning that the Toads don't use their mushroom head things as their caps, meaning these are officially attached to their skulls, despite what the Super Show will say, all the way to something like pure invisibility, which means enemies can't see you, and neither can you. However, a lot of these badges do exist just to be helpful, like the spin jump, which is one that I used quite often when I was playing through Mario Bros. Wonder, and the cap glide, as I've mentioned before, which can just be used for extra better mobility. And there's also badges that, again, just exist for pure challenge, like that invisibility badge, where, you know, it's not overly useful, but if you want to have an extra challenge to the game, you can use it. This is exemplified in the fact that the final level of the game, if you're wanting to 100% the game that is, it has that as its last challenge, where you have to go across these jumping, bouncy pad things while being invisible, so you can't see your character. So, yeah, that's mostly it. So, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, what do I think of it? I think it did its job pretty darn well. The entire purpose of the game was to move away from the staleness of the New Soup series, and I think it's done that, again, really well. It emulates Super Mario World, which is I think what it was trying to emulate, pretty well, and it feels like a nice fresh start to the 2D Mario series, and I'm excited to see what the next entry into the series is going to be, because, well, Wonder is definitely a start for a brand new direction to take the series in, which is something that is exciting. So, yeah, final verdict on Super Mario Bros. Wonder? Yeah, that talking flower thing, I hate that thing. Like, I despise that thing. Why is that there? Who thought this was a good idea? Man, I can't wait to play that new Mario Wonder game. I sure hope there's no weird talking flowers in it or something.
Onward and upward.
Oh, hell no!